Number 10 in the practice exam asks us what the treatment is in this experiment. So is it A, the number of crackers eaten? So that's not the treatment. They just gave that to the viewers of the movie, and they didn't want to measure between both times what not both times, between both movies, which movie yielded more food being eaten. And so the treatment is not the number of crackers eaten, but it's the different kinds of movies. So they showed a movie at 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. and they wanted to know which movie yielded into more food being consumed. And it's not see the time each movie was shown, because the time, that was actually a confounding variable. And then the bowls have nothing to do with anything. So B is the answer for number 10, the different kinds of movies. All right, let's move forward to number 11, 12, and 13. Here it says, here's a probability model for critics' ratings of one of the Lord of the Rings movies. Assume that only ratings A, B, C, D, and F are possible. So these are the grades, and these are the probabilities of the Lord of the Rings movies getting these grades. So the probability model is either continuous, discrete, binomial, or normal. So it's circled, you know that it's discrete, but why is it discrete? If we go and look at the definition for discrete, discrete means discrete sample spaces deal with data that can take only certain values. These values are often integers or whole numbers. So for this question, look, the probabilities are whole numbers. They're finite probabilities, 0.25, 0.37, 0.18, 0.07. And it's not continuous because it doesn't continue on. It is just 0.25. It is just 0.37. So that's why it's not continuous. And binomial, this is in a binomial setting because of the 4 requirements of the binomial setting isn't really described here. And D, that's not normal. So B is the answer for number 11. Number 12 says, what is the probability that a randomly chosen rating is an F? So check this out. This entire probability should all equal to 1. So what you need to do is you need to add all the probabilities for A, B, C, and D, and then from that you're gonna go 1 minus this entire sum of probabilities, plus 0.37 plus 0.18 plus 0.07, and that's how you get this last probability for F. So 0.13 should be your answer for number 12, and look at that. What is probability? So it's B, 0.13. So that's pretty okay question too. And then number 13 says, what is the probability that a randomly chosen rating is an A or B? All right, so A or a B. Remember that this isn't a question where something is joint, right? Each and every one of these grades are separate from each other. They're all disjoint. So because they're all disjoint, we're not going to subtract anything that is overlapping because nothing overlaps. So what we have to do is just add A and B. So 0.25 plus 0.37 is equal to 0.62. So again, this is an additional rule, but because all of these different grades are disjoint, you don't have to subtract anything. So if you remember the rule for addition, the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of A and B. You can disregard this part for this particular situation because, again, all of the grades are disjoint, so you can imagine that they're all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different grades all separately. Nothing overlaps, so there's no subtraction part. I hope that's clear. I mean, it's pretty obvious, I think. And something joint is, overlapping like that. And so that's why you would have to subtract this middle part. But because there is no overlap, there is no subtraction part, you're just adding the 2 grades, and that's why the answer is C, 0.62.